Okay, so let's talk about Evocation Festival 5. Shiki is obviously going to be one of the big ones for a lot of people, and it's no doubt as to why. Shiki, when she first came out, was regarded as a very good single target assassin. That has stayed throughout all 10 years of FGO's existence. Shiki's original design is still just one of the better designs that they've ever really done for a single target assassin. On top of the fact that she is a welfare, so you're guaranteed the 5 copies of her, even though she's only a 4-star. That has made her super competitive, and the only points at which she's actually been outpaced were, ironically enough, like right here before the recollection, where she didn't have her like upgrades and stuff like that, and they still kind of come back in and give her yet another upgrade to kind of help her keep pace, because some of the single target assassins end up taking off with NP interludes. And that's kind of already happened to a degree on NA, but Shiki is still going to be doing very, very solid work for you. She's not necessarily going to be looping or anything like that, but she is a unit that if you get her cards kind of in order and you do have crit stars with her, she can just kind of like generate all the way back to another NP. And in that regard, it is a very, very versatile and usable unit. She has death memes, but she manages to at least, like, even though that's not going to be a big part of her kit, she at least manages to spin the death meme skill that she has into also being an invul pierce skill, allowing her to still be very, very useful as a single target assassin. Plus, she has 30% charge. Now you also can get her coins, which means you can turn that 30% into a starting charge of 20% more and basically make it a 50% one-off charge skill if you so choose. This makes her very, very good as a single target assassin. And that is going to be somewhat of a rarity in a class that both simultaneously doesn't have a lot of charge options for single targets and also doesn't necessarily always have the firepower. So Shiki just has that unique blend. She's not going to outdamage some of your highest damaged assassins. You're not going to care because she's arts and she will have the potential to kind of do it multiple times. So in that regard, a lot of people do really, really like Shiki. Then you have the Mecha Elis, and there are actually 2 of them. Originally, when they came out in their event, you could only choose one of these. This one is one that a lot of veteran players are going to sleep on. A lot of veteran players are going to sit there and they're going to tell you, like, oh, don't pick the Mecha Elis. You have stronger, alter egos that are out there. No, you don't. Not that you can get. Not easily. These are free. And there are 2 of them. And because there are 2 of them, and because they are Mark 1 and Mark 2, therefore being different types, you can take them simultaneously into a node. And you might be thinking, well, that's just a gimmick, Khad. That's not a big deal. I'll tell you where it will matter. It will matter when you get to LB7 and deal with the Ort raids there. That's where it's going to be a bigger deal. Having alter egos that actually counter a foreigner is a good thing. And you don't just get one, you get 2 of them. So it'll be very useful to you to have a single target alter ego and not just 1 but 2. In that regard, the biggest issue you're going to have with the Mecha Elis, they do not have a whole lot of survivability, but they do have self-charge and they do basically deal decent damage. If you do have the Evocation Festival Leaves to spare, you can absolutely kind of like get them up and running. You might even be able to get one of their appends online, like their 20% starting charge mana loading append, which when combined with their other 20% charge skill will at least allow them to start from like a 60% starting point. Or you maybe combine them with other external sources of charge like supports, and the Mecha Elis are going to do a whole lot of work for you. So in that regard, I think due to the fact that the Mecha Elis are just kind of inherently strong, they're not going to be the strongest thing you get. They're not even the strongest alter ego, not even close. But the fact that they at least have decent damage, they are Buster synergistic, they have charge. Yeah, the survivability is a concern with them. You're not going to care too much as long as you can take care of them and get them to just kind of wallop the thing that they're targeting. And in that regard, they can do that really, really well. Don't sleep on the Mecha Elis. They are also very, very good additions. But that's not all that's here. And you guys can see we had Iris Veil in the last one, but Gray here is going to be our last one for this one. It's no stretch to say that Gray might still be one of the best AoE assassins in the game. She is still relevant on JP. She has had upgrades that allow her to just deal a good chunk of damage. With a maxed out mana loading, she can also be a 3-turning unit starting from a 60% starting charge CE. If you don't have that, you're looking at something like a K-scope or something. But at the end of the day, I think Gray is just a very, very solid unit due to the damage upgrades that she's gotten. With the Korean Sky systems coming into the games, you can now double those skills up, particularly with the 5th append that will come around later, allowing her to double up another one of her steroids. So in that regard, Gray still hasn't peaked. She will actually get slightly stronger if you invest in her even more in the future. But Gray has managed to outpace most other AoE assassins. The only ones that are really going to outpace her are basically higher NP levels of the 5 stars. And in that regard, Gray is just going to be solid and consistent due to the fact that she's Buster. So if you do have a Korean Sky setup that can properly support her, you will love Gray. Gray will do a ton of damage for you as an AoE assassin, which is not something we can say about a lot of AoE assassins, unfortunately. So in that regard, I do think she's just a very, very solid unit. She does have a little bit of survivability in her kit, so I do think she is a solid pickup here. And you might be wondering, well, Khad, then you just suggested all 4 welfares from this Evocation Festival. You're right, I did. Honestly, it's going to come down to what you need more on your account. I would tell you, if you're somebody that's already through, like, say, LB7, you're probably looking at Gray being the most useful thing here. If you're somebody that has not beaten LB7, then those single targets are worth their weight in gold for boss killing capability. Still, all 4 of these units are solid. You do want to get them eventually, but prioritize what your account needs first. Especially if you're somebody like, for instance, my new player account here, that is lighter on the Evocation Leaves at the moment. So in that regard, yes, all 4 of these welfares are good. That is going to be kind of the trend a little bit here, as we've had with this Pilgrimage Festival and the prior one, where a lot of the units coming out now are highly sought after. We will have still another Evocation Festival probably coming up in November, and there will be more next year as well on top of that. So there are more welfares coming to look forward to. Get all the Evocation Festival leaves that you can, and again, good luck. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Definitely helps me and the channel out. And I will see you guys for the next one. Like, I feel like FGO is trying to make it so you can't take a day off of the game right now. It's like simultaneously there's nothing going on, and then it lulls you into a false sense of security, and it goes, boom!